In the weeks leading up to now, Bassem Nasser, stranded in a northern village near Tripoli, Lebanon, told his family he could hear airstrikes in the distance. And while a fragile ceasefire has allowed families to collect bodies for funerals, in Canada's capital, one family fears they could be the ones left grieving unless the federal government acts fast.
We're angry.
We're told Bassem Nasser was already greenlit to be in Canada, and while waiting for his permanent residency paperwork to clear, his sons bought him a ticket to visit Lebanon for his birthday. They say the ticket was purchased before airstrikes on Lebanon and after making multiple calls to Canada's immigration agency to ensure he would be allowed to return if he left. His family says they got the go-ahead every time, but after leaving, that green light turned red. Now they check on him daily through video calls. What was supposed to be a 15-day trip has turned into more than a year of ups and downs.
The worst part for me is just being helpless, right? Like, I hired lawyers, paid a ton of money.
Starting from scratch, a visitor's visa is the recommended key to get him to the safe soils of Canada. They waited months for this letter dated October 7th, 2024. The highlight being this: we require your passport to finalize processing your application, which immigration experts say is a sign the application is going through. But then 2 weeks later, a rejection letter saying, I have determined your application does not meet the requirements.
Sometimes you lose hope inside, you know. I try not to do that. I try to stay positive. So that's how hard it is.
As a visual artist sketching images of loved ones, Jeanne d'Arc Nasser knows the power of patience, but she says waiting is testing that virtuous quality. The current complication keeping her husband from coming home to Ottawa is an at-fault car crash from 1995. Though there were injuries, their lawyer says it was settled in civil court and should be pardoned.
There was a collision, but an unintentional collision. So there was no intent where Mr. Nasser was going fast. There was no intent where he was being negligent or careless.
A much more recent crash means he is barely able to move, adding to the worry while his family waits to welcome him home to Ottawa.
My dad is going to die if we don't get news, if we don't get this fixed as soon as possible.
Stefan Keyes, CTV News, Ottawa.